I'm muting.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Ed Avis. I'm the Managing Director of APDSP, and I want to welcome all of you to today's event. This is the second day of the 2021 APDSP Zoom Reprographics Trade Show, and we look forward to learning a lot today. Yesterday, we had a session with 3 vendors, and you can watch the recording of yesterday's event on the website. And today's event will be posted also later today or early tomorrow. So today, if you have questions, please use the Q&A tab on your screen. The idea behind this event is to emulate an actual trade show, so questions are more than welcome. And you can fire away with questions at any time. Don't wait till the end. And this event, as I mentioned, is being recorded. So if you missed something, or if there are other people in your shop that you want to see it, it'll be available to them. So today we welcome 2 presenters, Tobias Pernkopf from ST and Keith Cox from Synnex. We are happy to have both of them here with us. And we are going to now begin with Tobias. Tobias, are you ready?
Yes, Ed, I am ready. Let's
Great.
do
I'm
this.
going to turn off my screen and it'll be all yours, Tobias.
Thank you so much. That's my screen?
You can use the share screen tab to put your screen up, Tobias.
Yep.
Do you see that at the bottom? There we go.
Yes, there you go. You see my presentation, I hope so?
Yes, we see it, Tobias. It's all
well, perfect. Well, then, also from my side, welcome everybody. This is Tobias Pernkopf from Germany, and I'm about to tell you something about folding machines, because this is what we do. We manufacture wide format folding machines. And first off, I want to start with a question, which is, well, why to fold? Yeah, that's a pretty basic question for us to have a clear answer to it. Well, usually technical plans are printed in a D or an E size, but once they got distributed and archived, well, they need to be A or B size for it to make sense. So the big plants need to get smaller, and that's the reason why you need to fold. And folding, as you saw, is necessary, but it might also be advantageous for you, because well, you can charge somebody for making the money on it, or being more efficient. No, so efficiency is the great question here. So which way to fold is the most efficient way for you? This is very important. And as you guys in the US still like to roll your plans so much, I also thought I share this slide here with you, where it just says, well, folding is superior to rolling. As you can see, rolls take up a lot of space and are difficult to find, while if plants are folded neatly in a binder, real crisp and compact, you can find them much more easy. And yeah, it's just much better. So as I said, we are the manufacturer of folding devices, and just want to give you a brief overview. Don't want to get too complicated here, but just to give you an overview of what our portfolio looks like, what kind of machines are out there, and just some basic vocabulary, which is important in this segment. There are offline machines, which are characterized by a manual feed, which means you have to take the drawing or the sheet in your hand and feed it to the folder manually. And the opposite would be online devices. These are folding machines which are directly attached to a printer. And then there are semi-automatic models where you would need two steps, one for the first fold or fan fold, we call it. Then you have to take the fan folded plan and refeed it for the cross fold to have an um, to have a small size. And then there are fully automatic machines, one-step machines, where you just feed in once and fan and crossfold are done in one simple pass. So let's start with the low end here. Entry-level machine, it's the Fold 3000. Um, it's a very nice folding aid, especially for people who still fold by hand, which can be a daunting task. And the upper segment for the offline machines are Fold 3010 and 6010. We'll get later to each model, and there are videos on the website I will show you, and this will, I think, help clarify things here. I don't want to get too much into details. I just want to give you an overview. No? Online model, for example, here connected to a Canon TX printer would be Fold 3001. Again, this would be a semi-automatic product, which means the plan comes out fan folded. You have to take it by hand, feed in through the rail here again, and have it cross folded. And then the top of the line are 6011 and 3011. These are high production engines working in combination with the page white 8000 or with the color wave 9000. So with the real high end, high volume, fastest plotters, printers in the world will match their speed and will fold all the paper which comes out of them. So the 3000, as I mentioned, it's an entry level basic two-step machine. It's a low noise, high performance, and it should say bye-bye to everybody to manual folding. Yeah, because it's really not efficient, and I'm sure the people who fold the plans by hand can do much more important things than stacking paper together. So this is the welcome machine. Welcome to automatic folding. No, 3000. Then we have the 3010, which is a one-step machine. No, you feed in once, comes out finished. It's less labor, more comfort, and it's very easy. With that device, you fold lots of papers in a very short time. So it's definitely a lot of bang for your buck you get here. With the 6010, this is the high-end machine. It's also, of course, one step, but this engine allows you to include a tab option. Tab meaning a strip, a hanging strip, which is for filing, yeah, which is attached to the print, and you can immediately file it to a binder. And it's very efficient and very much liked over here in Germany. I think in the US, it's not so much known yet. It's not so common, but actually it's also a very sophisticated solution as it's tear resistant, and it's definitely better than punching, because whomever punched an D-size print folded and then put it in a binder, well, it tears out quite easy. So this is really the advanced sophisticated folder here. Um, and then we have a supplemental portfolio also, where we offer a nice Ester stack device, which just takes the plan from, yeah, basically any wide format printer and stacks it nice and neatly. You can think about doing jobs overnight or on the weekend and so on, and don't have it crush into some catch bag. And so this Stack 2000 takes up to 500 prints of various formats, various media, various speeds. This is a very nice device to protect your prints, especially if you put a lot of ink on them and so on, and you don't want to reprint these. So all our devices come plug and fold. They have a unique graphical user interface on a 7-inch Android tablet. Also, all our offline machines feature a very large feed-in table, which did not happen by coincidence, but we decided for it because when you feed in a plant to a machine, it needs to be aligned correctly because the best folding machine in the world cannot um, regulate for your scoot in, feed in. So a large table is very important. We only use high quality components. This is our um, brand. Yeah, the brand of choice for true professionals. That's how we see ourselves. And we do have a distributor in the US, whom is located in Colorado. It's Kevin Brinks, and here are his contacts. So for local pricing, further information, um, other customers, please feel free to contact Kevin, and yeah, and he'll give you his advice. So much to the presentation. Then I would like to switch to our website and yeah, just show you our image video, which can be seen right on the front page here. I think it's nice to give you uh, a feel for who we are, what we do, how it looks like here. There you go. Yes, finish strong. That's our slogan, because yeah, we're in a finishing business, we call it. So, and on the website, of course, it's also available in English. There you can find the products, more detailed information about each and every product, and to some, especially offline models, there are also video available here. For example, for the 3000, the entry machine, you see it's nice and compact, only 71 centimeters wide. And here I am feeding in the plan for the first fold. Yeah, it comes out. Now I showed a different fold style. Again, let me forward this a little bit, and yeah, because then you take the fan folded plants and feed them in again, and they come out perfectly folded. Yeah, and let me also show you real quick the 3010 video just in contrast to show you how much less uh, work it is to have this engine. That's the You see easy folding, so we came up with the easy rider theme here. I don't know who remembers this movie, but I heard it's been a great movie. Yeah, see here you feed in once and the plant comes out ready. Various formats, no problem. No adjustment needed. It will fold everything to the same standard. Yeah, just take them finished folded drawings and continue your work. So yes, I see my time is almost up. I hope I could give you a glimpse of what we do and what our products are and for whom they could be interested. And I'd be glad to take any questions from your side if there are any.
Thank you very much, Tobias. Attendees, if you have questions, please use the Q&A tab on your screen there. Tobias would be happy to answer them.
Sure am.
I think we have one that just came in. Tobias, we
Yes.
have a viewer who asked if we could put Kevin Brinks's contact information up again. Can
Oh,
you
yeah.
put that slide back up?
Sure.
Great. There
You
it is.
could also just Google him at largedocuments.com, I guess, and there you would find all what he's doing. He's also doing scanners, I know, and he's a very professional in large format segment.
Great. Well, we have another question that came in,
Yeah.
but Tobias, I have one regarding Kevin. Let me ask this of you.
Hmm.
If one of our members had a customer who wanted to buy a folder, from resale from one of our people,
Yeah.
is that feasible? I mean, can he get a wholesale discount and then sell it to an end customer, or is
Sure
that
can.
not
Yeah.
possible?
Yes, sure can. That's possible. We can
Okay,
we can negotiate all that and work that out. And
okay. And would that person work through Kevin, or should he contact you?
Kevin has lots of experience in the US, so we would appreciate, and I think it would be favorable to go through Kevin
Okay,
as
even if he
as he
wants to do it for resale.
yeah, even if it's for resale, then you would just have to adjust the margin a little bit, but he knows the ways with the customs and so on.
Right.
And I don't know if it is really feasible to install that know-how with every partner for maybe one or two folders. You see, this is really a niche technology here. It's not like a mass market where you can where you where you can sell so many units. So
Mhm.
you have to think if it's feasible, to establish all these this know-how in your company for maybe one product or two.
Understood.
Hmm.
We have a question from a viewer, Tobias, who
Yes.
asks, can you give a price range for the models?
Yeah. Well, of course I can, but then it's especially now the logistics. It's just a pretty big part of the whole price, and the logistic prices are going up and down, so it's not so easy for me to calculate. And also with the tax you put on it. So I can just give you an estimation of what we recommend as a retail price in Germany, maybe. And I think that this should be just give you an idea. Yeah. For the entry level here, we're talking about 6,000 euros. This is what we approximately tax it at in Germany. And the 3010 would be 14,500 euros.
And Tobias, can you do a quick conversion? That's about $8,000 and $20,000? Is that
What
about?
is the? I know. I'm sorry. What's the current
Yeah, I think
exchange rate?
I don't know offhand, but I know it's €1 is a little more than $1. So
I
it's,
think so. But let me. Let's do this real quick. We
yeah,
put euros.
1.21.
So 6K euros would be $7,285.
Mhm. Okay. Um, one other question, Tobias. This is a question that I would like to ask, and that
Yeah.
is, as you mentioned, most people in the United States roll their prints instead of folding. But can you tell us if you know which types of customers in the United States have traditionally preferred folding?
Well, there are, of course, there are some multinational companies which have the standard. For example, Honda. Yeah, there are Honda plants all over the US
Mhm.
which just follow their own Honda standard.
Okay,
And if it's once established inside of Honda to fold, then of course the US subsidiaries and plants and so on, they be equipped with folders.
okay.
But we also sold to universities. I know at the University of Michigan, there are a couple of our folders. I
Hmm,
think somewhere in Ohio also. Um, then there is one Mario Team uh, company, I think in Minneapolis. Yes, they needed the extra wide machine because they have plans like 44-inch wide, and we just made a special folder, a wider folder, which also accepts these kind of plants, and so they were very happy when this machine came out. And yes, then of course there are reprographics, there are copy shops who use this type of technology,
mhm.
and
Okay.
it's getting more and more. No, in like I think we also wrote about that in an article you just published in your newsletter, that we celebrated the 10-year anniversary with Kevin partnership with him, and yeah, that's also was a time for us to remember when we started and how difficult it was in the beginning
Mhm.
to get people interested in this topic, and but it's picking up now.
Good, good. We have a couple comments that referred to the earlier questions. And one of the attendees has written here that yes, Kevin sells to resellers, and his resale website is phdimaging.com.
Exactly.
So if attendees, if you have an interest, if you think one of your customers would like a folder, phdimaging.com is where to go. And another panelist, pardon me, another attendee has written that the utilities are another US vertical market that uses folded prints. So attendees, if you have utilities among your clients, maybe it's worth asking them if they would like folded prints. I think
E-
oil
e-
companies sometimes also like
Exactly. And energy in general, transportation, construction is a big part, of course. So all these industries where there are lots of plants, um, folding is needed more or less, no?
Okay, great. And thank you to the attendees who replied to those questions. We appreciate that.
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay, I don't think we have any other questions. However, attendees, if you come up with questions that you think of in a moment, go ahead and ask them, and we can present them to Tobias afterwards. But
Exactly. I will stay a little longer, and also I'm sure Ed is happy to forward my contacts if anybody's interested, and I'll be
thank you.
glad to answer everything.
And by the way, Este is a valued APDSP vendor member. So you can always find their contact information on the website, apdsp.org. And you'll see there's a little ad for them along the right side. And if you click that, it goes to their website. Tobias, thank you very much. We appreciate your time,
Thank you.
especially because it's after hours in Germany. So thank you for
Well,
spending
yeah,
with us.
it's already dark in Germany.
All
Let me
right.
tell you that.
And now we turn to Keith Cox. Keith, are you ready?
Hey, Ed, thank you. Yes, sir. I'm ready to go. It's gonna be a little bit interesting, because it's like live television, except it's a live Zoom meeting, right?
That's right.
And so what I'd like to do is I'm not going to kill you with a PowerPoint, with, a large PowerPoint. I have a friend that does a 1400 slide PowerPoint and he gets through it in exactly 20 minutes, but we're not going to do that. I have 2 slides and a video. I'd like to talk a little bit about some of the things that we do, and I'll use the slide to help me with that. So let's go over to there first. And there we go. Y'all can see that okay?
We can't see it, Keith. Do the share screen thing at the bottom of your Zoom dialog box.
Okay, that's what we have fun with live. I thought I hit that. There we go. Share screen. And now I just have to find the slide that I was on.
I know the problem.
Okay, so it's probably on this one. And because of what geez Louise, it's crazy. All right, I know what to do. Hang on just a second.
We're among friends, Keith. Take your time. No one. We all love you.
Well, the one beautiful thing about this whole COVID world is that that we have been forced to get used to different programs for sharing screens. So let's see. If I go here.
There you go. It's coming up now, Keith.
Okay.
Got it. We got it.
What do you see? I don't.
We see your PowerPoint that says critical positioning at intersection of vendors and customers.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you see it because I don't. Anyhow, hey, thank you all for being here. Sorry for adjusting the camera like that. But what I wanted to talk to you a little bit about to start off my time is, where Synnex is going. Many of you or some of you out there may know me. I'm Keith Cox. I've been around the industry. I'm longer than dirt, older than dirt, but been with Synnex for the last 10 years. I come mostly from the reprographics industry, and what I've tried to do is, as we go, with each successive year, is try to introduce more technology into the reprographics world as you search for what some people refer to as new money and new sources of revenue. I'm not going to tell you that every one of the things I'm going to talk about today is a possibility for you, but there's lots of different options out there, lots of different ways, and a lot of places your customers are heading. And there's room in that chain for for an insertion for good solid resellers like yourself to become involved. So I take this slide out of our the Synnex corporate marketing slide presentation, and the reason for the slide is very simple. Synnex is, when I first talk to people about Synnex, sometimes I kiddingly say that Synnex is the biggest company you never heard of, and that we have technology coming out of our ears. And both are true. We're a $22 billion company, and it's amazing that it's really treated. Even though we're that big and that large, personal relationships are probably the most important aspect of how we do business. But over on the left-hand side of the slide, you'll see that we work with a number of different. Let me set this up a little differently so that we do the whole thing correctly. There we go. So on the left-hand side of the screen, you see a sample of the different vendors that we work with. Obviously, HP is our largest and our largest vendor in probably the deepest partner that we have. But that's not to take anything away from Microsoft or Google or any of the others that you see up there. There's just lots of technology, and there's over 500 different vendors with Synnex. So it's really hard to know a little bit about everything. For example, just yesterday I was on a phone call with a reprographer up in the Northeast, and they're finally getting ready to look at digital signage. And he said, well, what display manufacturers do you work with? And I said, well, it's easier for me to tell you how many and then we can narrow it down to what you want to do, because we handle 16 different displays. So getting into that kind of a business, there's so much room and so many different options that you really have to have kind of like a scorecard or a guide, if you will, to take you through it. And to that extent, in the reprographics industry, that's my responsibility. I will guide you through the technology maze. I'll bring the subject matter experts to you. Our subject matter experts are not only folks that work for Synnex that want to work with a particular vendor necessarily, but we have a whole division that does nothing but pre-sales work for almost any subject that you can possibly think of. And so in that sense, how do you reach us? Well, the way you reach us is the way we're structured. And over on the right hand side of the screen, you'll see a bunch of solves. Now, I love marketing people, but some marketing person got a little crazy with the solve concept one day, and we've got real things that just roll off your tongue, like component solve or collab solve. And the one you got to really like is industry solve. And the one that I'm involved mostly with is industry solve AEC. How you like that? And that's not up there. But the point about it all is that we're siloed, and because of that, we have people that are very knowledgeable in each one of those areas to help you. So when I tell you about Synnex Service Solve, I'm talking about the group of people that have a whole panel of subject matter experts that are pre-sales folks that you can call up, the ask questions. Say, for example, again, yesterday we'll use the digital signage thing. I have a store that wants to put up 4 menu boards. They're going to open up 4 other stores. So I need to know, I already do static printing for them, but they're adding these menu boards, and I don't want to lose my customer. What do I need to go to them with? Well, it's a little bit of a different world in the digital signage world. So I help them in an introduction. But we have a gentleman that sits on our service solve side. His name, by the way, just happens to be Parker Dingler. And Parker is a guy that's, comes, 20 some years experience in pro AV and digital signage. He has all the accreditations. And you know what's really good? He's a nice guy, and he's good in front of customers. And so, when you can call him up on a number and have your questions answered, and he'll say, okay, so do they want to do this? Do they want to do that? It'll give you a kind of a guideline to go back to the customer, get some questions answered. And with that, he'll build a configuration. And then we work together as partners, and we can price it out for you. Now, we can stop right there, sell you equipment, help you solve the problem. Or, the Service Solve group also does installations where we act as a subcontractor for your company, and we'll actually go install everything and train the folks as well if needed. But it's all up to you. You're the boss. You call the shots. And so that same kind of situation works with practically every one of our different solutions offerings. So if we go to industry solve or print solve would probably be better. Print solve, if you've got a printer and you're going to put it in Midland, Texas, and you don't know anybody out in Midland, Texas, and Ed can't put you in touch with anybody in Midland, Texas, well, you contact us, and we'll do printer installations in Midland, Texas. We're just subcontracting, just working for you. We represent ourselves as part of your organization, and that same thing goes to be true not only in an install position, but let's say we're back to that digital signage, and you wanted Parker to jump on a call with you and help you with a con call with a potential customer. He just represents himself as your digital signage consultant. As simple as that. So you can see, how we at Synnex, kind of split this all up. So we have all the different solves. We have GovSolve for those of you that are interested in getting into any kind of government business. We have our own GSA contract that you can join with us as a reseller. We have a number of different contracts that we're a part of or administer in the SLED business, and that would be state, local, and education, and a number of municipal contracts around the country as well. We also work in enterprise-wide situations. That's the Synnex Westcon Comstore, where what that acquisition about 3 or 4 years ago brought to us the whole practice of Cisco. How you sell Cisco in a networking environment and all the different aspects that Cisco has to offer to their customers, so that you can work in that environment. One of the hottest areas right now, and it covers a large number of the solves, or it spans a large number of the solves, is network security and cyber security. And between the collab solve and component solve and service solve, once again, we sell practically everything that you need to do any kind of network. And then on top of that, we have an ever-growing suite of network security and cybersecurity products that you can avail yourself of. You can begin to build a reseller practice with, because I can assure you that every one of your customers has the same problem with network and cybersecurity as you may be experiencing. One of the things that we do in that under that realm through ServiceSolve is we'll do penetration or pen testing, for you on your behalf to your customer at no charge. Now that's typically a couple IP addresses just to see how easy it is to get into their network. But we have folks with a couple of the guys have over 30 years of experience in the cybersecurity world, and they're great people to talk to because they just scare the dickens out of you when they tell you some of the stories. But in today's age, where everybody's prone to be hacked, it's good to know that they're on your side and they're working to help protect you. In my native sort of solved world, in the world that you're in, I kind of span print solve and industry solve for a couple different reasons. So yes, HP printers is a line that we handle, and in addition to that, we also do a number of finishing products. We also do Epson. I'm sorry. We do the entire Epson line from their small format all the way up to through their color, the wide format color technical printers, as well as the graphics printers, as well as another growing market would be the garment world, or direct to garment printing in the Epson world. So we cover those two as large manufacturers. We also provide, we do the Onyx. We'll do a number of different rips that go along with that. We have some coding, options available. Coding options that everything from UV coding to antibacterial coding, for example. So that's another aspect of what we bring to the table. Most recently, we participated, maybe you participated in one of the new Suma, vinyl cutter presentations. Suma just built a brand new vinyl cutter from the ground up, new platform, new blades, everything, much easier to use, Wi-Fi based, so you don't have to worry about whether or not it's wired into anything. And it's out there right now, just beginning to ship the version 2, and they have an interesting program for resellers where you can be anything from a servicing reseller, fully involved, And for just a little bit less reseller discount, you could be what they call a tier 2 dealer, where you just basically sell the equipment and provide very little of the support on the backside. Somebody else can do that for you. So there's a number of different things on the PrintSolve side. Over on the IndustrySolve AEC side, one of the things that I'm directly involved with every day is laser scanning. So we represent the Leica line of laser scanners. And so laser scanners can be, can get into that market for anywhere from around 19 to $120,000. It's a wide market, but it's a marketplace that is growing. It's a trend in the construction industry that's getting larger and larger, and it's one of those tools that's used by architects, engineers, and constructors for anything from figuring out what your as-builts look like to verifying how what was constructed, and comparing that to what the model or the design said it would be. And then a number of people today are beginning to use point cloud data, that's the output from the scanner, in their closeout documents. So it's basically the how to operate my digital building, kind of program. Whereas once upon a time you used to hand over a roll of drawings and a pile of spec books. Now a closeout is more like an instruction manual to how to operate a more highly technical building. So that's some of the places that we're involved with. To give you kind of a bigger picture, I'm going to tempt fate here again. I have a short 2-minute video to play for you to give you an idea of what Synnex talks about in what we call the digital transformation world. So if you'll bear with me for just a second, I will bring that up. And so Ed, I just go to a different screen. Is that all I have to do?
Yeah, choose the screen that you're seeing in the share screen thing, which corresponds to your video.
All right, let me bring up the video first. I'll pause it and then.
Yeah. Okay, we see the screen with the video.
You see it?
It's on. Yep.
Okay. Can you hear it?
No. Oh.
No.
We're working.
We can hear it. Yeah.
Okay.
Synnex
Is the volume okay?
Make that happen. That's because we're working behind the scenes to create better business outcomes for our customers. Synnex industry and technology experts.
All good, Keith.
Pardon?
Designing, developing, and
That's good. You're good.
Okay.
Transformation solutions in the markets we serve. Let's take a closer look at how Synnex is transforming the way we live, work, and play for the better. So, how do we do it? Synnex Technology Solutions operates in 3 distinct businesses: commercial, consumer, and data center design and manufacturing. On the consumer side, we feed your electronics cravings with the finest in consumer electronics, computer, Internet of Things, and gaming technologies to retailers. And commercially, we're serving multiple industries, from schools and airports to first responders and businesses of all sizes. We bring thousands of products to the table and collaborate with hundreds of manufacturers to serve a global customer base, helping them thrive where they are today and confidently map where they plan to go next. Our scope of technology solutions expertise is diverse, touching the entire spectrum of digital transformation. We offer technology services pre-sales and post-sales to ensure best-in-class solutions, timely deployments, and operations services that help build our customers' businesses on the back end.
There you go. So it's just an idea, and it covers a number of the areas that I tried to address in my conversation, and it reminded me that there's a couple different areas. You can see my screen again yet, Ed?
Yeah, we see your PowerPoint now.
Okay, so I switched over to a closer look at all the different aspects of the world, and you can see there's a couple that I didn't mention. The part that we talk about the consumer. We're not selling direct; we're selling to retailers, resellers. We don't sell anything direct, but we have a whole subsidiary called New Age Electronics that sells everything to for like smart homes, doorbells, thermostats, lighting, those kind of things, gaming, obviously, as was mentioned in the video. I forget about that sometimes. And then the other thing in this world of COVID, under our GovSolve title, we have another subsidiary that's referred to as Regulated Industries. It's another one of those marketing things that rolls off your tongue. And in there, we have a whole healthcare practice. So everything, we probably have 7 or 8 different temperature, monitoring type devices. We also offer keyboards you can put in dishwashers to make sure they're clean. We just came out with a new product that's like an infrared disinfecting device. You come into a room and you run this device in the room for a certain amount of time, and it kills viruses. We do things in healthcare like build the carts or provide the carts that the equipment sits on. Provide the monitors that sit on the carts and provide the mounts that the monitors are attached to the carts. So there's any number of things that we're adding to all this in order to make as comprehensive a solution to service as many potential resellers as we possibly can. So having said that, we do a lot. If you've got something that you want to get involved in and you're not sure how to do it and you'd like to talk to somebody, we're a great company to do that with, because we just have all the kind of people that are just sitting there willing to help and wanting to help you, because helping you helps us. So it's a win-win situation. And with that, if any of y'all have any questions, I'm happy to pick them up. And Ed, I hope I've fulfilled what you were kind of looking for.
Absolutely. Thank you, Keith, very much. Attendees, if you have questions, please use the Q&A tab. We've got a few minutes, and I know Keith would be happy to answer some questions. I just want to emphasize what Keith is saying is that Synnex can be looked at as an extension of your business. And if you were listening, there were many areas that Keith was talking about that are actually probably within your existing customer base now. The 3D scanning solutions, the vinyl printing, cutting, even if you do healthcare servicing, the virus killing places. These are technologies that your existing customers probably are buying from somebody else. But if you have a trusted relationship with them, now with Synnex, you can have a partner that can help you get into those other areas. So whatever interesting field that you're dreaming of getting into, I think Keith is the guy who can help you get in there with expertise. So you don't need to invest in a $100,000 3D scanner. You can get them to help you get started in that field and act as your partner. So that's an essential thing. Keith, I don't see any questions, but let me ask you one quick one. You presented, and you and your colleagues presented at an APDSP convention a few years ago about 3D scanning opportunities and drone and things like that. What's your feeling about that market now post-COVID? Did COVID put a pause on that kind of stuff, or is it still a growing vital market, do you think?
COVID's affected it in one way, but it has not affected it in another way. Selling a 3D scanner or selling 3D scanning services even is usually something that requires you to be in front of people. And the one thing COVID's done to us, for example, is all Synnex personnel are basically told by corporate that we're not to go out and see anybody. In fact, right now we're locked down until July 1st. So I've been grounded since March 3rd of last year, and right now looking to be that way until July 1. So on the one hand, it's made selling the scanner or doing the scanning services problematic because people, if somebody's going to pay 18, 20,000 to $100,000 for something, they want to touch it, and so that's made it a little bit more difficult. On the other hand, we did last summer we did a whole webinar series on construction in a COVID environment. And one of the things that we learned is that because you can't have as many people on job sites and the interactions have to be social distance, you have to be much more careful, that the use of technology has increased dramatically on the job site. And so there's a demand for 3D scanning and 3D scanning services that's going on right now. So if you were in that business pre-COVID, you've done well, from the service side coming out of the backside. Now, I sell equipment, so when I talk about services, it's not really helping me. But but as I said early on, I want to help. I want to help you, and by helping you, I make you more successful. And if you build a business and services, well, that's fine. That's good. And so I'll give you an example. A company that we brought on up in the New England area last year, just in January, billed out $100,000 in scanning services. Okay, 75,000 of which went right to the bottom line. I'm telling you that this is a technology that's growing, that's going to be used more and more, and it's typically rental and sales of it are good, and a lot of subcontracted services for it are very strong. So this is something I'm happy to talk to any of you about. Having said that, and it reminds me once again in the COVID world, thank you, Ed, that we also have another product that that's so easy to get into, so easy to sell, and I almost feel like I'm giving away the secret opportunity. There's another company called smartvid.io that utilizes artificial intelligence and photography to basically use predictive analytics to determine what the safety situation looks like on your job site. So all you have to do as a contractor is take photos of action areas on the job site, places where work is being done, or you can set up a camera and so that it'll take photos on its own of those areas. Those photos either will be automatically uploaded to a server, or manually loaded to the server if you're taking photos with an iPhone, for example. And the artificial intelligence engine, the AI engine known as Vinny, every contractor needs a Vinny on their site, right? Basically looks for things like missing hard hats, missing goggles, missing glasses, or missing gloves, working around hazards like ladders or large pieces of equipment. But in the COVID world, they adjusted their engine to look for social distancing, whether or not you're wearing masks, anything that could contribute to that on the site. And it's a relatively easy sale. I mean, you're selling a subscription that they're just looking at photos. So you can sell them the camera, you can rent them the camera. It's a software as a subscription. There's nothing you need to do unless you're providing any of the equipment, and they come back with reports that indicate that hey, you've You've got, 5 incidents in the last week of people working under ladders. You've got 7 incidents of people running around the job site without hard hats on. I mean, it's really, really, really simple. And in this world, it's something that everybody's very sensitive to. So, that's another product I'm happy to talk about with any of y'all.
Excellent. Thank you, Keith. That's a great example, attendees, of something that is an add-on service to clients that you already have.
Exactly. Can I finish up with one thing,
Sure.
if you don't mind? When I started all of this, especially the what I call, we called it intelligent job site tech. Synnex marketing got a hold of us, so it's now Industry Solve AEC. So we're official now. I called it in the beginning, fill the trailer. Synnex has all the technology to fill a construction trailer, except maybe the furniture. I can do we can do the networking, we can do the displays, we can do the large interactive displays, we can do the scanning, we can do the printers, practically everything you need, as well as small format. Well, maybe it was a little too much at first, so I toned it down and said, let's get past the printer, because somebody is selling your customers all that equipment. And if you just pick up 1 or 2, different lines of things that are getting past, going past the printer, you're going to get that new money, that new revenue. That's the opportunity for that. And so today that's all evolved, it's been 8 or 9 years since we've been working at this, and we're much further down the road than we ever thought we would be. And the prospects are getting great, so great that we're now, as I said, official Industry Solve AEC. Just took all the fun out of it. I liked intelligent job site. It was more fun.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great. Well, thank you both very much, Tobias and
Thank
Keith.
you.
Tobias, will let you go home now and
Yes,
enjoy your dinner. And Keith, thank you.
I appreciate the opportunity, and yeah,
Great.
good night, everybody.
And thank you, attendees, for sharing your morning with us, or your afternoon, wherever you are. And remember that this event was recorded, so you can watch it later again on the website. And with that, that's the end. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much.